My sister and mother come in first.
Come on in.
Candace!
I reach out to Prim, and she climbs in my lap, her arms around my neck, head on my shoulder, just like she did when she was a toddler. My mother sits beside me and wraps her arms around us. For a few minutes we say nothing, then I start telling them all the things they must do to remember, now that there will be no one there to do it for them. Prim is not to take any Tezzeret. They can get by if they're careful on selling Prim's goat milk and cheese. In the small apothecary business my mother now runs for the people in the scene. Gail will get her the herbs to grow for herself. But she must be very careful to describe them because he's not familiar with them as I am. He'll also bring them game, and he and I made a pact this year or so ago that will probably not ask for compensation, but they should thank him with some kind trade for like milk or medicine. When I'm done with the instructions about fuel and trading and staying in school, I turn to my mother and grip her arm.
You can't leave again.
I know, I won't. I can't help what.
Well, you have you have to help it this time. You can't clock out and leave Tim on his own. There's no me now to keep you both alive. It doesn't matter what happens. Whatever you see is on the screen. You have to promise to fight for them.
My voice has risen to a shout, and all it is anger. All the fear I felt at her abandonment. She pulls her arm from my grasp, moved to the anger so.
I was ill. I couldn't have treated myself if I had the medicine I have now.
The part about her being ill may be true. I've seen her bring back people suffering from immobilization sadness.
Then take it. Take care of it.
I'll be alright, Candace.
Says Prim, clasping my face in her hands.
But you have to take care too. You're so fast and brave. Maybe you can win.
I can't win. Prim must know that in her heart. The competition will be far beyond my abilities. Kids from wealthier districts where winning is a huge honor, who've been trained their whole lives for this. Boys who are 2, maybe even 3 times my size. Girls who know 20 different ways to kill you in the face with a knife. Oh, there'll be people like me too. People to weed out before the real fun begins.
Maybe.
Because I can hardly tell my mother to carry on if I've already given up myself. Besides, it isn't in my nature to go down without a fight, even when things seem insubmersible.
Then we'd be rich as Hamish.
I don't care if we're rich. I just want you to come home. You will try, won't you? Really? Really try.
Really, really try. I swear it.
And I know because of Prim, I'll really have to. Really, really try. And then the peacekeeper is at the door, signaling our time is up. And we're all hugging one another so hard it hurts. And all I'm saying is, I love you. I love you both.
I love you.
Come on.
I love you. I love you. Not you. Him.
The door is this way.
I
The
love you.
peacekeeper orders them out, and the door closes. I bury my head in one of the velvet pillows, and this can block the whole thing out. Someone else enters the room, and when I look up, I'm surprised to see it's the baker, Peter Mellark's father. I can't believe he's come to visit me. After all, I'll be trying to kill his son soon, but we don't know each other one bit, and he knows Prim even better. When she sells her goat cheese at the hob, she puts 2 of them aside, and he gives her a generous amount of bread in return. We always wait to trade with him, and not as witch of a wife, because he's so much nicer. I feel certain he would never have hit his son the way she did over burnt bread. But why has he come to see me? The baker sits awkwardly on the edge of one of the plush chairs. He's a big, broad-shouldered man with burn scars from years at the oven. He must have just said goodbye to his son.
Thank you.
The baker's not a very talkative man in the best of times, and today he has no words at all.
I have something weird this morning. My friend Carol gave you a squirrel Malfoy it?
He nods as if remembering the squirrel.
Not your best friend.
He shrugs as if it couldn't possibly matter. Then I think of anything else. So we sit in silence until the peacemaker summons him. He rises and coughs.
I'll keep an eye on the little girl. Make sure she's eating.
I feel some of the pressure in my chest lighten at his words. People deal with me, but they are genuinely fond of Prim. Maybe there will be enough fondness to keep her alive. My next guess is also unexpected. Madge walks straight to me. She's not weepy or evasive. Instead, there's an urgency about her tone that surprises me.
They let you wear one thing for music in the arena. One thing to remind you of home. Will you wear this?
She holds out the circular large pin, or large gold pin, that was on her dress earlier. I hadn't paid much attention to it before, but now I see it's a small bird in flight. Wearing a token from my district is about the last thing on my mind.
Here, I'll put it in your dress, alright?
Madge doesn't wait for an answer. She just leans in and fixes the bird to my dress.
Promise you'll wear it in the arena, Katniss? Promise?
Cookies, a pin, I'm getting all kinds of gifts today. Maybe give me one more. A kiss on the cheek. Then she's gone and I'm left thinking that maybe Madge really has been my friend all along. Finally, Gale is here. Listen, getting a knife should be pretty easy, but you've got to get your hands on a bow. It's your best chance.
They don't always have bows.
Then make one. Even a weak bow is better than no bow at all.
I don't even know if they'll be wood.
There's almost always some wood. Since the year half of them died of cold, not much entertainment in that.
There's usually some.
Katniss, it's just honey. You're the best hunter I know.
It's not just hunting, they aren't, they think.
So do you, and you have more practice, real practice. You know how to kill.
Not people.
How different can it be, really?
Don't let them start my kayak.
I won't. I won't let them starve, no.
Okay, bye.
Did you pause it?
Come
I won't
on.
let them
Come
starve,
on.
I promise.
Oh, you're getting
Promise
in
I
trouble
won't
now,
let
boy.
them starve. No, we need more time.
Let's go.
No.
This is linebacker stuff.
Effie Trinket comes to collect me for supper. I follow her through the narrow rocking corridor into a dining room with polished paneled walls. There's a table where all the dishes are highly breakable. Peter Mellor sits waiting us in the chair. Next to him is empty.
Where's Hamish?
Taking a nap.
Well, it's been an exhausting day.
I think she's relieved by Hamish's absence, and who can blame her? The supper comes in courses. A thick carrot soup, green salad, lamb chops, and mashed potatoes, cheese, fruit, and a chocolate cake. Throughout the meal, Effie Trinket keeps reminding us to save space because there's more to come. But I'm suffering myself because I've never had food like this so good and so much, because probably the best things I can do between now and the games is put on a few pounds.
At least you two have decent manners.
Says Effie as we're finishing the main course.
The pair last year ate everything with their hands like a couple of savages. It completely upset my digestion.
The pair last two were kids from the scene who had never one day in their lives had enough to eat. And when they did have food, table manners were surely the last thing on their mind. Pete is a baker's son, and my mom taught me and Prim to eat properly, so yes, I can handle a fork and knife. But Effie Trinket's comment, I hate it so much, I made a point of eating the rest of my meal with my fingers. Then I wipe my hands on the tablecloth and burp in her face. This makes her purse her lips tightly together. Now that the meal's over, I'm fighting to keep the food down. I can see Pete is a little green too. Neither of our stomachs is used to such rich food. But if I can hold down Greasy State's concoction of mice, meat, pig, and trails, and the tree and bark, a winter specialty, I'm determined to hang on to this. We go on to another compartment to watch the recap of the repeats across Pan Am. One by one, we see the other reapings, the names called, the volunteers stepping forward. More often not. We examine the faces of the kids who will be our competition. A few stand out in my mind. And most hauntingly, a 12-year-old girl from District 12. She has dark brown skin and eyes, but other than that, she's very much like Prim in size and demeanor. Only when she mounts the stage and they ask for volunteers, all you can hear is the wind whistling through the Deseret buildings around her. There's no one willing to take her place. Last of all, they show District 12, Prim being called, me running forward to volunteer. You can't miss the desperation in my voice as I shove Prim behind me, as I'm afraid no one will hear and they'll take Prim away. But of course they do. I see Gail pulling her off me and watch me mount the stage. The commentators are not sure what to do about the crowd's refusal to applaud. The silent salute. One says the District 12 has always been a bit backward, but the local costumes can be charming. As if on cue, Hamish falls off the stage, and they groan comically. Peter's name is drawn, and then he quickly takes his place. We shake hands, they cut to go to the anthem again, and the program ends. Effie Trinket is disgruntled about the state of her wig was in. Your mentor has
a lot to learn about presentation, a lot about televised behavior.
Peter unexpectedly laughs.
Huh. He was drunk. There.
Every day.
I can't help smirking a little. Effie Trinket makes it sound like Hamish just had somewhat rough manners that could be corrected with a few tips from her.
Yes.
Hisses Effie Trinket.
How odd you two find it amusing. You know your mentor is your lifeline to the world in these games, the one who advises you, lines up your sponsors, and dictates the presentation of any gifts. Hamish can well be the difference between your life and your death.
Just then, Hamish staggers into the compartment.
I missed supper.
He says in a slurred voice. Then he vomits all over the expensive carpet and falls in the mess.
So laugh away.
Bleh.
She hops in her pointy shoes around the pool of vomit and she flees the room. Oh, he just walked in it.